All right, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. So we're going to be reacting to Coach Lee and Will No Contact Make My Ex Forget About Me. I have done probably over 100 no contact videos on my channel. So you guys already, if you're fans of me and my channel, you're going to know what I already think about no contact. But people have been asking me to react to Coach Lee for a long time. What do you think about Coach Lee? What do you think about Craig Kenneth? What do you think about this? So here it is. Let's get to it.
No contact rule. Make your ex forget you. I'm going to tell you what's really going on in the mind of your ex in most cases. I can't speak to everyone's case, but I can speak to a lot of them. And the odds are good that this applies to you. So will no contact make your ex forget you? I can actually tell you, based on 20 years in the relationship coaching service, that no contact actually usually helps your ex to remember you. Because if your ex has already broken up with you, then they have forgotten the two of you. They've taken you for granted. They think that they don't want the relationship anymore. And a lot of that is because they don't remember what you two had.
So adding to that, if you think about what so I teach my students to think in opposites when they're trying to deal with the emotional part of all of this. And they're like, okay, does no contact work? How does it happen? What happens in her mind and all that? So no contact is the idea. So let's just talk about first what it is. It's when after a breakup, you do not contact your ex. You take time away. You stop being the boyfriend or girlfriend if you're a chick watching this, because you're used to texting. You're used to the routine. You're used to they're used to you being there, and you're used to being there too. So when you do no contact, what it's about is pulling all that shit away and letting them feel the space. So what I can tell you for a fact is if you chase that person, okay, this is what thinking in opposites does. When you chase that person and you pursue them and you hound them and you're basically a helicopter, you are going to only turn them off even more, because 99% of the time when they've broken up with you, they want space. They want time. They want space. They want to feel the relief, because they've been thinking about breaking up with you for weeks, sometimes months, right? Even years sometimes. So what the no contact rule is going to do is it's going to help. At first, they're going to feel that relief stage. That's what stage one is relief. So they're going to feel that, and then they're going to go, okay, that will burn its way through. And then that's when they go out partying and having fun. And sometimes they're with other people, which is something again, remember, this is all up to you, what you want to do. Me personally, I move on, I move forward, I move on. But a lot of you guys want my guidance and help because you guys are still willing to stick it out and try, which, it's up to you. So if they are with somebody else, I'm not down with that. I'm not cool with going back to a person that was just, being dug out. But if you are, then they're going to go through a party, not party. I'm not telling you they're going to party, but a lot of people will feel free and do things that they couldn't do in a relationship. So when you actually are in a relationship, you should let that person feel free, and as long as they're not doing shady shit. So that's what this whole idea is about. So they're going to feel that relief and they're going to go through it. And then if you stick to no contact and you actively work on yourself and focus on you and focus on your mission as a man, then what's going to happen is you're going to be improving yourself. You're going to be doing everything it is necessary to make you a better choice. And then that person will ring you up. And what happens sometimes with my coaching students is they'll be working on themselves, and then they'll meet other girls. They'll start making money. They'll start another business. And then they're like, man, do I even really want you back? So anyway, let's continue this video.
Something could have gone wrong. Attraction fell. We know that for sure. Usually it's emotional attraction, and it fell. And that can be caused by simply that the relationship was damaged by lots of confrontations, arguments, bickering, unkind words, hurtful words, and maybe one or both of you being inconsiderate, making the other not feel wanted or desired or beautiful or handsome, because that's very important. Both people in the relationship need to feel and want to feel that the other person desires them and just looks at them and thinks, wow, this person is gorgeous, beautiful, handsome, good looking, whatever word you want to use there. But if you continue trying to be in the relationship with them, that is, you're contacting them,
still playing boyfriend, right? I see a lot of guys will say to me, "Hey, Kyle, should I go over there and fix her house? Should I go over there and do this and do that? Should I help her with her laundry? Should I do this? Should I take care of the dogs?" No, no, do not play boyfriend, girlfriend when that person has dumped you. That and you're all afraid because you're like, that person's going to move on if I stop doing these things. No, it's not always the case. But you have to have some dignity and self-respect and stop doing things for that person once they don't want you anymore.
You're not wanting to give them the breakup. You're trying to talk them into staying with you. You're talking to them about how they're feeling. Has anything changed? Do you want me back yet? Is there any hope for us, for me, getting you back? That's where you don't let them remember you. You keep them in this state of forgetting because they feel like nothing has changed. And you see no contact is actually like a reset button. It's amazing how it can work because they actually start to feel that they, first of all, could lose you. That possibility happens.
And also, there is that case that they feel like they could lose you, but also they feel like you do respect them and they feel like you do respect yourself. See, when you do no contact, you're respecting yourself and your own space and your own dignity, and they need to respect you in order to love you. Let's turn that off. That's bright as fuck. So they need to respect you in order to love you. And if you're chasing them, you're not respecting their space and wishes. You're also just not acting attractive because look, masculine men, alpha men, what they do is if they're not wanted, they don't stay. They go where they're tolerated, not tolerated. That's not the right word. They go where they're wanted. They go where they're appreciated. That's the right word. And somebody wants you out of their life. They don't appreciate you there anymore. They don't want you there anymore. So again, let's go back.
They actually start to feel that they, first of all, could lose you. That possibility has to exist because a lot of times the dumper thinks that there's nothing they could do, that no matter what, they will always be able to get you back if they ever wanted you back. And that's terrible for your chances. If you want your ex back, they have to think it's possible that they could lose you, that this breakup, in fact, could be what causes them to lose you, that they could change their mind and want you back, but not be able to get you back. So number two, it also, by you using no contact, you show them that you are strong enough to stay away. And that's one of the things that raises your attraction again.
That strength, that masculine strength that I was just talking about. Women want to be around and want to be with men who are strong, not weak. Okay. We are physically the stronger sex, right? When we are acting weaker, right? Because there's emotions, spirit, mental, emotional strength, spiritual strength, mental strength, and physical strength. Women are drawn to men who are strong. And if you can't stay away from them, they're going to just think that you're weak and they want to be with strong men. They're magnetized to that. So that's why it works better. And you have a much better chance of getting them back when you do no contact.
So I'm strong enough to stay away. And that's one of the things that raises your attraction again. Sometimes it raises it from the dead, in fact. It shows emotional strength that you can stay away from them. And it also does all kinds of things to question the idea that they are more attractive than you, which is what they feel at the breakup.
Mm-hmm. It's called dumper's confidence. I've talked about this before. They feel like they are the ones that are in charge because you want them and they don't want you. And whenever that power dynamic is there, they're not looking at you the same. It's like this. And you are trying to get her attention and she's looking straight. And the guys that are, at her level are going to get her attention or above her, right?
It's very normal for someone, a good person, a kind person, but breaking up with someone causes you to feel that you are more attractive than they are because you are the one dismissing them. Now, they will probably swear up and down a tree that that's not the truth, that they think that you are attractive, that someone would be lucky to have you, all these things. They're just being nice. They're wanting you to kind of go away from this, to leave them alone, and they don't want to think that they've hurt you. Now, later that changes a bit because they do like to know that it stung to lose them. It's good for the ego. And so once they get over that initial relief period, and I talk about that in one of my videos, stages your ex goes through during no contact. Once
I'll be doing that one soon too.
they get over that relief period, they actually have to start looking at reality, sort of like getting out of the honeymoon phase. And now you're in real life. And that's where they'd kind of like to know you're still interested. They'd like to see you pursuing and trying to get them back.
And in that period, they're going to send you breadcrumb texts. So that's why you have to, I don't know if he's going to mention this because I haven't seen this video, but you have to be very careful in this period, because if you start telling them how much you miss them and how much you want them, ego boost, and they're going to, again, they're going to pull back. And then sometimes it makes you go a little crazy again. And then you're left wondering, what do I do? What do I do? All right. You just need to stay on your mission.
Because it makes them feel sexy and desired and wanted. And we all want to feel that way. As a matter of fact, not feeling that way can hurt the relationship. But when they break up with you, them not feeling that way actually has the opposite effect. And that's because breakup dynamics are different from relationship dynamics. And a lot of you get confused and you'll say, but it was because of this thing happening while we were together that caused the breakup. Or at least that's what they told me. So I need to be overly affectionate now, right, coach? No, that's not right. Because what you do then is it looks like, oh, well, since I broke up with you, now you're doing this. Now, there will be a place for that where you need to actually do the right things, but you've got to get them back in a sense, at least to where they're considering it first and they're interacting with you, maybe wanting to see you face to face before that's even a consideration. Right now, you need to show reserve. And I talk about the dynamics of this in my emergency breakup kit, which I'll link to in the description below. But showing reserve, that there was something not acceptable about them just walking away. And that, as a matter of fact, it's had the opposite effect. Instead of making you want to chase them, it actually makes you cautious of them. You see, they should experience that from you. That's what they should feel from you. And if you're wondering if no contact will make them forget about you and they're just going to be out there not hearing from you, and so they're just going to kind of move on.
And just to give you a little bit more background on that whole does no contact make them forget. I have done, again, a lot of calls, and my coaching is a little different than most people, where I stay in contact with my students. I get them on a certain course of action, then I tell them to update me. I don't have a chit chat back and forth, so it's pretty simple. Now, the people who are successful in doing this, once they stick to it and they show me the screenshots, etc., they're like, hey, this is what's happening. This is what I do. Okay. They're like, what do I do? Blah, blah, blah. Once we go through all that and we do the right steps and the right things, you can tell, you start to see patterns, right? And again, this isn't for everyone. This isn't going to happen with everybody, but you generally see that no contact has a far, far, far better chance of working than if you were to chase and pursue and do anything other than no contact. It's the natural thing to do when you respect yourself. Okay.
It usually doesn't work that way. Now, if the relationship is hearing from you and so they're just going to kind of move on, it usually doesn't work that way. Now, if the relationship was miserable, if it was one-sided terribly, if there was tremendous hurt from words or actions that they just can't get over, now that's one thing. That's a different situation. I do talk about that some in my emergency breakup kit and in other videos. But if your relationship was solid and it was good, there were good experiences together, there were wonderful times where you two felt loved.
And that's another focus that I want you guys to have. See, going forward, if you get your ex back or not, whatever, but if you date another person, you becoming mission focused as a man is so important, because first of all, you're going to have a scarcity of time. Scarcity helps with value. When you are trying to create value in a relationship, the marketplace, whatever, if you give too much, it's not valuable. That's why people have to pay for time. If I just gave my time away, it's not valuable. But when people pay for it, I give a little extra. So that's so having a mission will give you a little bit more scarcity, because you're going to be busy, you're going to be unavailable. But also, when you are together, focus on having a good fucking time together. So many guys get so fucking wrapped up in what's going on in the world, and they think they can talk to their girls about it. That girl just wants to have fun with you. She wants to go on a date, right? She wants to have, fun experiences, like fun stuff. Sometimes you can do group things once your relationship is in a good spot already. I would avoid group dates in the beginning because it's too easy to get ignored, or, just don't do it. And then, what's it called? I lost my train of thought for a sec. But when you focus on having a good time, she wants, and then going from there, she wants to have obviously sexual experiences with you, which is a positive and fun thing to do. So, but guys start talking about politics. They start talking about, oh my God, did you see this happen? Did you see this? And they start talking about all these serious topics that they can talk. They think that they talk to their boys about, and that's not fun. So when you do those two things in a relationship, you remain scarce, and you have a mission, and you have a positive experience, she's going to come back to you more often than not, because everyone else that she's going to be talking to or dealing with is going to be too serious, too available, too beta, too emotional. So she'll come back around to you. And if you've remained strong, if you're one of the strongest men in her life, she'll come back around. But again, if you got to this breakup point, there's probably some work you have to be doing, which is what you should be doing during your breakup. So studying attraction skills, studying female nature, studying these things. Okay. And working on your mission.
And it seemed like you were both in this as much as the other. That's where this is really powerful, because they have forgotten, and you showing them a different side of you, that side of you that they'd forgotten, that attractive side of you, where you're strong enough to stay away, where they could lose you. Because in the beginning of a relationship, one of the reasons that you experience limerence and that high that only comes with a new relationship is that it does feel like a house of cards. You don't have this history of commitment and all this time with this person. And so there's a risk of loss. It could all just fall apart, which makes you crazy about it. You want to hold it tighter. You want to try to just consume this person and be with them constantly, because it feels like you could lose them at any second. And that's one of the reasons the no contact rule can be effective, is because it raises your attraction while simultaneously showing them they could lose you, that it could all fall apart and they could want you back and not be able to get you back. And that's an amazing thing, because you're worried that it's going to make this person forget about you. But I'm telling you, it's actually going to help them remember. It's going to be that jolt that brings back some of the early experiences of the relationship and some of the attraction that you need in order to get them back. And so no contact helps them remember you, which is what we need. We need them to miss that intimacy. And
that is what happens if you stick to it. One of the last videos, not last, but one of the latest videos I did is called No Contact Works If You Stick to It. I'll try to remember to put a card up. A lot of people will say, just move on, just move on, just move on. And you should never assume that the person's going to come back, because it's silly. But if you stick to it, see, people will do it half-assed. Oh, I reached out to her just for this. Oh, I reached out to her, because the truth is they just couldn't handle it. They couldn't handle not being away. So again, practicing emotional self-control, practicing and working on your mission, and all that is going to make you a better man. That she's going to be not polarized, but she's going to be more drawn to or magnetized to. I made a lot of videos today, so I'm a little bit fried.
Which is what we need. We need them to miss that intimacy, and they have to remember it. So if you stay away from them, the odds of them remembering and wanting you back are much better than if you don't. If you keep at it, they will remain in a state of forgetting what you two had.
And let me add to this. I know I'm interrupting a lot, guys. I know. Every single relationship I went through, every time I've done this, I stayed away. I basically said, I assumed that they were never coming back, which is what you guys should do while you're working on yourselves. But every single time they came back around, just even if it was for a short period of time or a long period of time that they tried, it was because I stuck to it. It was because I worked on, I had the belief that I was going to be all right. And I started focusing on myself and what I could do I started making more money. You know what I mean? Like, again, and I didn't have my business at the time, but I started making more money. I started focusing on the right things. So again, what are you doing in your 24-hour period? Okay, so let's just say 16-hour period, because let's assume you're sleeping. What are you doing? You're probably going to work for 8 hours. So I'm going to assume that. Okay, you have another 8 hours. For those 6, for the other 8, 6 of them should be working on a business or something like that, a side piece, Jesus Christ, a side hustle, so that you can improve your financial situation and improve what you're doing in your life. And then from there, work on your physical body, your health, and all that. And again, you're trying to level up yourself as a man and focus on yourself. And if she does call you, she's going to notice or text you, or you put these things up on Instagram without being thirsty for her comments, but you put these things up on Instagram and you're like, okay, once you show that you're improving, if you've already been doing that naturally, then she's going to be, man, this guy's actually working on himself. He's hanging out with people. He's doing his thing. And that's going to make her think twice as well.
And it will be very difficult for you to get them back. So I encourage you to stay in no contact, to subscribe to this channel so you can be encouraged and motivated and get more information on what it's going to take to get your ex back, to give you the best chance to get your ex back. Giving your ex time away from you, giving your ex extreme pattern interruption where you just disappear is actually what will jolt them into remembering what you two had and fearing they could lose it and wanting you back. Don't doubt it. Stay in no contact. Let them come to you. It will be difficult. There will be some days when you're thinking that it's not going to work.
Yup. I get that from my students all the time. Hey, God, I'm having a really hard day today. You have to stick to it. It's like the gym. You have to constantly go and consistently go, and things will eventually work out.
But I have seen it work so many times that I expect it to. That doesn't mean it will work in every situation, but it works a lot and it gives you the best chance. And
I can attest to that. It works a lot. Okay.
It actually gives you two the best chance when you get back together going forward, because your ex will know they could have lost you. And they will know that if they break up with you, they won't hear from you. And that's where it's important not to be dramatic, not to cause trouble, not to act like a stalker, or not leave them alone or pester them after the breakup. Because if they start thinking that they miss you, they're worried you're moving on, they're worried they couldn't get you back, they're remembering what you two had, then they will think, but if I reach out and we get back together and things are like I thought, where they're not very good and I want to break up again, then I have to go through all that drama again. And so it will give them an excuse. It will give them a reason not to get back together with you, because they'll think, if I have to break up with them again, if I give it another chance and it just doesn't work and I break up with them, I have to go through all the drama again. And they won't think it's worth it. So you have to let them feel that there are not many risks of getting back together with you, that they will give it a try, that there's not something they're worried about, that they're worried about the way you're going to act if they break up with you. That is yet another thing that will help them remember you, remember the relationship, and be willing to give it another chance. Will the no contact rule?
So, okay. Honestly, he said something at the end that made me think.
And they won't think it's worth it. So you have to let them feel that there are not many risks of getting back together with you, that they will give it a try, that there's not something they're worried about, that they're worried about the way you're going to act if they break up with you. That is yet another thing that will help them remember you, remember the relationship, and be.
Okay. So I can't remember what he said. He said something that triggered me for a second. Not triggered me in a bad way.
They're worried you're moving on. They're worried they couldn't get you back. They're remembering what you two had. Then they will think, but if I reach out and we get back together and things are like I thought, where they're not very good and I want to break up again, then I have to go through all that drama again. And so it will give them an excuse. It will give them a reason not to get back together with you, because they'll think, if I have to break up with them again, if I give it another chance and it just doesn't work and I break up with them, I have to go through all the drama again. And they won't think it's worth it. So
yeah. So again, they respond to strength. They want to be with a strong, masculine, a person who's somebody who's in their frame. And look, at the end of the day, it's about what? Biology, right? Why would a woman want to go out with a man and have babies with a man who's a weak, who can't control his own emotions or his own thoughts, right? It just makes no sense. So if you think about it that way, from that perspective, then I hope it helps keep you from, straying and doing anything silly. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Coach Lee did a good job with this one. he's been recommended to me, or I've been asked to do like sort of like coverage videos just like this, reaction videos, like what do I think about him and other coaches. So I think he's good. That was great information. He has a lot of videos, so I can definitely cover more. I'll see you guys in the next video. Done.